Due to the fast-paced nature of the personal finance and loan industries, transparency is of the utmost importance. When consumers are looking for short-term loans, they frequently find themselves in the position of having to navigate a sea of lenders, each of whom claims to offer the greatest deals and terms. One of these players in the lending sector is Moneyboat, and the question of whether or not Moneyboat is a direct lender is one that is asked rather regularly. Direct lending is a type of financial transaction in which a borrower deals directly with a lender, without the involvement of any intermediaries or brokers, sometimes known as brokers. A corporation that funds and services a loan directly, without the involvement of third-party brokers or affiliates, is referred to as a direct lender in the context of short-term loans. Borrowers have the ability to communicate directly with the organization that is giving the funds, which is one reason why direct lenders are frequently seen to be more open. Individuals who are in need of emergency financial assistance can apply for payday loans through Moneyboat, which is a short-term lender situated in the United Kingdom. Moneyboat was founded with the intention of providing financing solutions that are both accessible and responsible. The company offers itself as a dependable choice for individuals who are dealing with issues related to unexpected bills or financial emergencies. On the other hand, in order to ascertain whether or not Moneyboat is a direct lender, we need to investigate its lending procedures in greater depth. The lending approach utilized by Moneyboat is characterized by a quick online application process. Borrowers have the opportunity to submit applications for short-term loans amounting to between £200 and £1,500. The loan durations often range from 2 to 6 months, giving borrowers the ability to return the amount that they have borrowed in a manner that is convenient for them. Despite the fact that Moneyboat makes its loan transactions easier to complete online, gaining a grasp of its lending business requires a more in-depth examination of its underwriting and funding procedures. A procedure known as underwriting is utilized by Moneyboat in order to determine whether or not applicants are creditworthy. This process entails examining a number of different aspects, such as the applicant's income, credit history, and overall financial stability. To ascertain whether or not the borrower is capable of repaying the loan without putting undue burden on their finances is the objective. While Moneyboat is in the process of conducting its underwriting, it is equally important to investigate if the company funds the loans directly or whether it relies on third-party lenders. In order to determine whether or not Moneyboat is a direct lender, it is necessary to investigate the sources of funding where the loans that it distributes come from. The difference between direct lenders and indirect lenders is that direct lenders utilize their own cash to fund loans, whereas indirect lenders may rely on other sources, such as banks or investors. In order to fulfill its commitment to transparency, Moneyboat has made its website available with information regarding the sources of its funding. Given that Moneyboat describes itself as a direct lender, it is reasonable to assume that the monies that are used for its loans originate directly from the company itself. A direct lending model is characterized by the fact that borrowers who interact with Moneyboat have a direct relationship with the organization that is providing the cash. This is consistent with the characteristics of a direct lending model. Compliance with regulatory requirements is an essential component in the lending sector since it has a significant impact on the legitimacy and transparency of a lender. In many cases, direct lenders have a regulatory structure that is less complicated than other types of lenders because they control the entire loan process internally. The Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, which is a regulatory organization in the United Kingdom, has granted Moneyboat permission to operate and is responsible for overseeing the company's operations. Guidelines and standards are established by the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, for the purpose of ensuring that lending practices are both fair and responsible. The fact that Moneyboat complies with the standards set forth by the Financial Conduct Authority, FCA, provides borrowers with an additional level of assurance, so confirming the idea that the company functions as a direct lender and is dedicated to ethical lending practices. Moneyboat's overall client experience is another factor that should be taken into consideration when determining whether or not the company is a direct lender. Because they have complete control over the whole lending process, direct lenders often provide borrowers a more straightforward and simplified experience than other types of lenders give. Moneyboat is a company that places a strong emphasis on customer service and provides an online platform for the management of accounts and the submission of loan applications. When dealing with Moneyboat, borrowers have direct communication with the company throughout the entirety of the loan procedure, beginning with the application and ending with the repayment. This kind of direct engagement is consistent with the characteristics of a model of direct lending, which is characterized by the fact that borrowers have an open line of communication with the organization that is providing the funds. Advantages and disadvantages of employing direct lending. In order to determine whether or not Moneyboat is a direct lender, it is necessary to take into consideration the advantages and disadvantages that are linked with this type of lending strategy. Direct lenders typically provide a process that is more simplified and transparent, while also providing direct contact channels and a decision-making process that is more expedient. On the other hand, because they take on the entire risk of the loan, they could choose to have more stringent eligibility requirements. In the case of Moneyboat, the direct lending model offers borrowers the opportunity to interact directly with the company, which allows them to have a comprehensive understanding of the terms and conditions at their disposal. However, in order to minimize potential financial strain, it is vital for borrowers to thoroughly analyze the terms of the loan and evaluate their ability to meet the responsibilities of the repayment. Based on its lending approach, funding sources, regulatory compliance, and client experience, Moneyboat gives the impression that it operates as a direct lender. A significant factor that leads to the development of confidence among borrowers is the company's dedication to openness, which is demonstrated by the disclosure of funding sources and regulatory authorization. In the same way that prospective borrowers should perform extensive research and thoroughly analyze the terms and circumstances before dealing with any lender, including Moneyboat, prospective borrowers should do so before making any financially significant decision. While the direct lending model does have certain benefits, such as openness and direct contact, it is important for borrowers to be aware of their financial capabilities and obligations in order to have a positive experience when borrowing money thanks to the direct lending model.